Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Adams Rite. This is their part number MS4043-00-119. This is a cylinder guard, is what it is. A cylinder guard is a very typical and common piece of hardware that you'll find on aluminum storefront installations. And it acts as a way to shield the outside head of generally a mortise cylinder. The MS4043 is indeed that cylinder guard, and there's a couple of options in terms of what we have to select for this. Okay, there is a link below this video to I think the document's called template that we can look at and get a closer look. So the cylinder guard is used for aluminum or hollow metal doors. You can certainly use it for a hollow metal door. And the 00 in the part number, the 00, refers to the fact that the stile thickness of the door is 1/8 of an inch. So you get the cylinder guard. And by the way, the 119 is black. This is a 119 black finish. You can do it in 119 black, 121 dark bronze, 130 aluminum. Okay. And your cylinder is going to fit right inside of there. The head of this is going to cover the head. The outside of the cylinder guard is going to cover the head of the cylinder, because what you're trying to prevent with this is someone getting a wrench on the head of your cylinder, or just channel locks, and turning that cylinder so that they can break the set screw that's holding it in, and then simply and easily manipulate the lock once the cylinder has been removed from the opening. So this really, serves to work to prevent someone from locking down on the head of the cylinder, because you can't get to it. The head of the cylinder is all the way on the inside here. If I took a cylinder and demonstrated it on the inside, you can see the point. Okay? You can't get to the head of the cylinder. This happens to be a very unusually long cylinder I happen to be working with right now. The 00 in that part number is going to tell us that it's for that 1/8 of an inch wall thickness, and that's a reference to this dimension right here, from the back side of the head to this groove that's here, and that groove is for the retaining nut or ring that's there, that's going to lock this in place. Now you can imagine if your door thickness, if your stile thickness was thicker, well, this isn't going to work. It's going to come with a couple of thin shims as well, and I'm going to give you some dimensional properties. A couple of very thin. These are 0.06 thousandths, incredibly thin. That means you'll be able to pick up possibly 12 thousandths, not very much. The point of that is if you have a 20 gauge hollow metal door, it's going to be much thinner than 1/8 of an inch, or 16 gauge. It'll be noticeably thinner than 1/8 of an inch. Aluminum is thicker, and that's really where you're going to see these. An aluminum style is going to be thicker than a hollow metal door. This is considered a security ring made of hardened steel. I don't know that it's steel. It's magnetic, and the factory says it's hardened steel. Doesn't feel as heavy as I would have expected it to be. Free swiveling when properly installed. That means that it'll rotate. It's meant to rotate. You want it to rotate. It helps prevent someone from getting a lock hold on top of it and spinning. You want it to free spin. The retaining ring is hardened steel. That's certainly magnetic. For corrosion, hardened steel plated for corrosion resistance permits security ring to swivel. And this is in the 119 finish, the black finish. Now, that template that I mentioned down below, that's really a cut sheet is what it is. And it shows you what the intent is of this. Talks about the function. The standard mortise cylinder is made of brass. It is literally a soft spot in narrow style door security. Using special pliers, a pipe wrench, or other leverage device, a burglar can tear the cylinder out of the door, leaving an opening through which he can operate the deadlock. Against this problem, the MS4043 cylinder guard offers a three-way defense. First, the outer shield is fully beveled to offer poor purchase for either prying or twisting. I'm not sure. The outer shield ring is fully beveled to offer poor purchase for either prying or twisting. Purchase, I'm not sure what that word is used there. You're not going to eat, because it's beveled, the wrench ain't going to sit on it, is the bottom line. Second, the ring is hardened steel, so that the combination of shape and hardness make it difficult to use it as a device by which to pry, such as a cold chisel. Can be driven into the stile behind the shield ring. The would-be burglar is obliged to pull a heavy steel plate through a round hole in the 1/8 of an inch metal stile. So what they're saying is you're not going to be able to drive this into the hole. You're not going to be able to easily pry this off. It's meant to really resist that sort of attack. The second page of the item of the template is not only gives you the dimensional properties of what you need to drill. You need a hole that's 1.343, so just heavy on 1 5/16. And putting my caliper on all of this, I would say that a hole that's going to be 1.343 would be perfect. Since I have the caliper, the outside dimension is, they have it at 1 5/8. Oh yeah, spot on. 1 5/8 here. Down in the front of it, the beveled side, they have it at 1.5 inches. And I'd say yes, that would certainly be 1.5 inches. Okay. The thickness of the head of the cylinder guard, they have it at 7/16, 0.44 inch. Yes, that'd be fine. That would work. You've got the diameter of the hole to drill. You will drill it based on the lock set, back set, the edge of the door to the center of the hole. That can be at least 4 sizes from Adams Rite. Be mindful of that. You're going to drill that where it is. If you're replacing one or adding one, the hole's already there. You're likely going to have to modify the hole a little bit, ream it out a little bit, would be my guess. I don't know that, but expect to have to touch that hole up a little bit. The unit is held on, as you can see, by inserting this into the hole and sliding your ring through the edge preparation. So you have to have access to get that on and in. Okay, you may or may not use these shims. You may or may not need additional shims. You might need to find something, they call them spacers, to fit stile wall if thinner than normal. Whether it is the 00 version, which we have, and that's in the lower left-hand corner, which is for an 1/8 of an inch stile wall that will fit 5 or 6 pin cylinders, or the 01, which is the same cylinder compatibility, but it's going to be spaced for a 1/4 inch wall thickness. Admittedly, I don't sell those very often. That is an unusual application in my experience. Then there's the 02 variant, still 1/8 of an inch wall thickness, but that's when you're dealing with a much longer cylinder. A 5 or 6 pin cylinder can be, gosh, it could be 3/4 long, it could be 15/16, it could be 1 inch. 15/16, 1 inch, 1.125. You get into a 6 pin cylinder, you're going to be 1.125, 1.25 cylinder lengths. You get into a 7 pin interchangeable core mortise cylinder, you're going to be 1 5/16 to 1 7/16 cylinder length. You'll be at a longer cylinder. So you'll have to be mindful, because what changes there is the depth of the shroud, how much room you have to conceal the head, and the depth of that prep from the outer rim to the shelf where the cylinder is going to sit. And this dimension can be used to calculate things such as 0.318, so basically 5/16. That dimension is going to be there to help you determine how long of a cylinder do I need based on the door thickness, maybe based on the position of the lock. This incredibly long cylinder, this is a 2 3/4 long mortise. It's a mortise cylinder. It just happens to be 2 3/4 long. We're doing a 4-inch thick door where the lock body is not centered in the door. How long does each cylinder need to be based on having a cylinder guard on either side. So you need to know the length of your cylinder. You need to know how deep this shelf is, so to speak, which we measured at 5/16, and then you can proceed accordingly. This does not include a wave washer. It would be really nice if it did. It's a washer it's a compression washer, so that when you put the cylinder in, you can turn it a little bit tighter, and it will keep the cylinder guard tight on the face of the door, even though this will already be, but will allow you to run that cylinder in and give it a little tighter fit because a spring is underneath it. What I'm trying to say is this is not a wave washer, but it will do this sort of job where the cylinder goes in and it will compress to fit the application. A wave washer does this job. It looks like this, except that it has a wave profile around the perimeter of the washer itself. So your longer cylinders, you might need the O2 variant. And that's it. Very common to have these installed. You always want a cylinder guard. You always want a cylinder collar, whether it's straight or tapered, but you certainly always want a something under the head of that cylinder. A cylinder guard is different than a cylinder collar because the cylinder guard gets the head inside of the unit, preventing you from touching the head of the cylinder, whereas with a cylinder collar, straight or tapered, you can still get to the head, even though they fill the space between the back side of the head of the cylinder and the face of the door, and they still rotate. You can still grab onto everything that's there. Their OD, their diameter is slightly greater than the head of a cylinder, but cylinder guards are superior because they do not permit you access to the head of the cylinder, and that's why they should be considered. Finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Adams Rite products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. All of this information is derived as well on the template. If you have any questions on this or any other Adams Rite product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.